Hello, my name is Patches. I am a 30 years old French gamer, bonjour, and I have been playing video games for as long as I can remember. Ever since the internet made it possible, I have also played games with guides. It wasn't always like that though. I remember my brother handing me his copy of A Link to the Past on Game Boy Advance and spending what felt like an eternity trying to figure out how to get the fourth empty bottle, or flacon as it is called in French. I never found it and it drove me mad at the times. The moment the internet became accessible to me, I never let myself experience this feeling again. Recently though, I've decided it's time to change that, at least for games I have never played before. There are so many games in my backlog I have never touched, so I rolled the dice and fate landed on Cyberpunk 2077. What follows is my abridged and unhinged account of the 60 hours or so I spent in Night City. I went in completely blind, mostly lost, and somehow I ended up in a committed relationship with a cab company.
Before we begin our journey, I must verify the identities of all customers. Please proceed to connect your personal links. Thank you.
So, Cyberpunk 2077. We start the game as V, a wannabe mercenary and former nomad accompanied by a trusty sidekick Jackie. It appears that the both of us have decided to upgrade our status from lowly thugs to criminal legends. In order to do so, the first step we define on our journey is to deliver a mysterious cargo past the customs of the nearby metropolis, which also happens to be the area where the entire story of this game unfolds, the infamous Night City. Now the game has barely started and I am already facing my first hurdle. I am a terrible driver in games. I've always found that there is a certain floatiness to it that I am not quite able to get used to. It reminds me of steering a shopping trolley while drunk.
Oh, what? Not suspicious at all.
After overcoming the struggles of pulling into the inspection lane, we are finally greeted by the customs checkpoint. Well, who says customs, says heavy police controls of course, and while Jackie informs me that our mysterious cargo is flagged as being lost on arrival.
Lost on arrival means the cargo was flagged as to be lost as soon as it crossed the border.
Which is another way to say that the customs officer is supposed to let us pass through unbothered. It also appears that we are in need of providing an additional backshish to the lads. As such, bribe them we shall. Since I am only in possession of a single bottle of Coke and a few snacks, Jackie surrenders his hard-earned savings to smooth the deal with this fine gentleman. Nothing like participating in a little corruption to keep a broken system rolling.
There's one additional enclosure to the manifest.
And on our merry way we go, we pass the control area without issue. We immediately get chased by total strangers for reasons that are never explained.
I repeat, stop the car!
Now after taking care of these pesky pursuers, one well-placed bullet apparently being enough to make entire cars explode.
Okay, let's go.
We finally find a safe haven in a nearby garage. It is time for us to inspect the content of this mysterious cargo.
Now we take a peek inside.
And I shit you not, the cargo is none else than a live iguana.
Open it. Oh, mames, a real iguana. A, lesser Antillean, I think.
Two questions immediately come to mind. First, why are we risking our lives to transport a live reptile? And second, what the hell?
Think you can make some money on it?
The thing is, in Cyberpunk, the fewer questions you ask, the better off you are. As such, the what to my hell will stay unanswered and actually sets the tone for the rest of this game. Don't think, just proceed with crime.
Okay, partner. Time to grab the lizard and scurry out of here.
While talking about criminality, in order to become the perfect felon, I am soon offered by my criminal friends the possibility to intern at the Crime Academy of Crimes.
I'm blind.
Let's begin with basic combat training.
I am perfectly comfortable blowing people's brain out in games. But Cyberpunk is supposedly not only about violent dismemberment and blood splatters. Indeed, from hacking to sneaking to hand-to-hand combat, there are many alternative ways to succeed in Night City. I'd love to tell you that my years of experience as a gamer have forged my mettle when it comes to understanding game system, but that is not the case, and my failure with said system starts immediately. One of the peculiarities of the Cyberpunk's combat system is hacking. The objective is simple. Divert the enemy's attention with hacked devices, then sneak behind them and take them out.
All right, all yours. Take them out. No worries. Try again.
Enough chit-chat about the tutorial. Upon my arrival in Night City, I also acquire a flat, the supposed base of operations for my future adventures. This is a fancy way of saying I'll only come back here when the story forces me to, or when my loot bag is full.
Okay, that is peak gameplay. 10 out of 10.
While I check the content of the flat, I also notice, or rather, the game encourages me to notice, that I am in possession of a computer. So let's do what I rarely do and read my emails. And oh boy, let me tell you that this game contains a surprisingly high amount of emails. Due to your continuous use of Kinoshi services, you were entered in a raffle and have been selected for one prize. Malware detected. Your computer has been attacked. Our records show we have not received this month's rent payment. Do you do what I say or your head goes Nanogel scam alert. Increase the length and girth of your... Well, this certainly raises some questions about V's past dubious internet usage, but since I believe that some questions are better left unanswered, I'd say it's time to go. Now, I did my due diligence and watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners after completing my playthrough, which I highly recommend, by the way. It's an excellent show. And I had quite the laugh watching it, because while David jumps 4 floors every morning without issue, I most definitely did not survive the attempt and broke my ankles. As such, we will stay lowly pedestrians.
To the entrance, let's go.
And finally, my first real encounter with Night City. In broad daylight and under the sun, I can feel the warmth of my computer begging for its life during the French winter season. Genuinely magnificent. I have to say that the level design and the environment art in this game are extraordinary. The density of the world and attention to details all make Night City feel like a real place, in a way that very few games achieve. But before I go explore this beautifully designed city, let's have a little chat with Jackie over a bowl of noodles. Jackie has just found us a job with one of the most renowned fixers in town.
Just that he's fronted by a little-known someone named Dexter Deshawn.
A fixer is simply a quest giver, but this game, as I will come to learn, loves to give everything a different name. Joom for buddies, Eddies for money, or Chrome for cyberware.
So we rolling or what?
Cyberware are robotic implants that replace your natural fleshy body parts with mechanized muscles and bones, and it so happens that I will need such implants to fulfill our future missions. As such, I am visiting my friendly neighborhood surgeon and cyberware seller, Vic. Vic is a riper doc, as they are called, but also a big fan of boxing. A very, very big fan of boxing. No, I do not know it yet, but I'll come to realize later on that Vic might even have what we call a compulsive and pathological obsession with boxing. Vic also has a sweet spot for us, and as any responsible friend would do, offers to lend me very expensive hardware and put me in debt. 21,000 eddies to be repaid at my leisure.
Quit crying, Vic. I'll bring you the eddies later with interest.
That's a lot of money. I got like $100 on me. I mean, come on.
Now that I am suitably robotized, I am finally ready to meet with the man in charge of providing Jackie and I with our next gig, the one and only Dexter Deshawn.
Dexter Deshawn in the flesh. Ample indeed.
I've seen you in the trailer.
Let's roll.
And what has Mr. Deshawn planned for us, you may ask? Well, it is extremely simple. We're going to Steal a ship called the Relic from a mega corporation called Arasaka for a woman named the Relic. We need a robot called the Flathead, which we get from the Maelstrom, a local game. Flathead is initially a secret prototype developed by a corporation called Militech, so we get contacted by a woman named Meredith. Doesn't actually want to get the Flathead back, but just want to deal with the Maelstrom. Same time, Evelyn wants us to cut our current fixer, Dexter, out of the virtual VHS device to relieve a memory from Yorinobu, the son of the CEO of we have to use the Flathead in Arasaka Tower to neutralize the security and steal the Relic.
Say I wanted to have a drink named after me. What would I have to do?
Understand the law.
I hope that was clear. And if it wasn't, well, don't count on your journal to explain anything to you because it just doesn't. Don't worry, I also have absolutely no idea what is happening either, but thankfully there is a yellow arrow on my screen pointing me in the right direction. I will spare you the preparation and prerequisites of the heist because trust me, there were many.
Can you play this? Oh, it's the game from when Google is offline. Oh boy, I am terrible.
So to infiltrate one of the most powerful corporations in the world and steal the Relic, Mr. Deschamps provides us with a nice surprise.
Welcome on board this Delamain service. With Delamain, you leave your problems at the door.
Indeed, I am introduced to my favorite character in this game, and I will argue the actual main character of the entire story. An AI cab driver bearing the lovely name of Delamain.
Thank you. Excelsior package activated.
Now, while I will never tire of the wit and humor of my dear Delamain, we have just arrived at our destination, the Arasaka Tower. As we approach the security control, I have a bit of a laugh. Jackie is scanned with a military-grade murder robot in his suitcase, but a select choice of words from V allows us to pass through unbothered.
Care to explain why you're bringing military equipment onto the premises into Konpeki Plaza?
I don't intend to explain myself to you or anyone else.
Please, accept my apologies for the confusion.
After getting the room key from the clerk, I endure yet another elevator ride. I'd like to take a moment to preface that what followed was supposed to be a masterclass in infiltration, and that everything should have gone flawlessly according to many characters we've spoken to before. And at first, it was the case. I managed to get our little murder mitten from our room to the security control room without a hitch. The Flathead crosses multiple areas with ease. Floors, ceilings, floors again, distracting villainous cleaning ladies, zapping the security man robot, all of that undetected. And with the security disposed of, we can finally...
There's the awkward silence. You, wanna hear a joke?
Guys, focus. The safe.
Sure, focus, but first. Let me rummage for loot and half-read classified lore entries that absolutely should not be lying on corporate bedside tables. And after a while, Jackie finally locates the Relic, and while I'd love to say that things continued running smoothly, it certainly isn't the case, since none other than the CEO himself, his son, and the security detail choose this exact moment to enter the room.
Yorinobu's about to walk in. Find cover.
We have nothing better to do than hide in a closet and hold our breaths.
We're in.
We are hereafter witnesses of an impromptu Oedipus moment to welcome us to the big leagues of corporate crime. It so appears that Arasaka's son decides to resolve his family issues in the most direct manner possible by strangling Arasaka's father to death, right in front of us.
Oh, shit. これでもう誰のことも許す必要はない。
Ha! Would you believe that? In an unfortunate succession of events, we try to escape, and get discovered immediately, and since we are the only people in the room and are looking quite suspicious, I have to say, the entire affair gets pinned on us. This obviously means that we are getting pursued by quite a lot of blokes, and I have seen enough action movies in my life to know that we are going to jump from this building. And indeed, we do. Jackie gets shot on the way down, and in what I can only describe as a monumental brain fart, possibly fall-related, he inserts the relic directly into his head.
Jackie? You okay?
I won't comment on the fact that this is probably a terrible idea, and instead demonstrate my sneaking skills in order to get us out of the situation.
I'm under attack!
Oh wow, shit!
We gotta plow through them!
The game loves to remind us that we should hurry during important and urgent missions. This is, of course, in direct contradiction with my personal desires, taking my sweet time to loot all the bodies possible. Also, I could, right now, leave my computer running for an entire day with absolutely no consequences whatsoever. After many twists and turns, we finally make it out of the building, and waiting for us is the one and only MVP, Delamain.
Not bad.
Client feedback noted.
Our Excelsior package allows for the swift disposal of any pursuers. It's not the end of my worries though, as a few moments later it appears that my trusty sidekick is actually going to kick the bucket.
I told you we'd make it.
My medical diagnostics indicate that Mr. Wells's condition is critical.
I certainly wasn't expecting this. Now, before dying, Jackie hands me the relic, and I, apparently having never seen a single science fiction movie in my life, immediately implants it into my head.
Oh boy.
What are we doing here? I know this is supposed to be quite the emotional scene, but I am afflicted by an ailment common to many men in such situations. An overwhelming need to find the nearest drop point and unload what it is frankly an excellent haul from the Arasaka Tower. I mean, look at all this loot! Yeah. After that, I proceed with what can only be qualified as the worst case of Mondays ever. Dexter is upset and chooses quite rudely to shoot me in the head.
Can't risk it, V. Remember our first convo? Seems I've chosen the quiet life after all.
Dex!
No Blake Lloyd for me.
Well...
I then wake up in a landfill since I am apparently not dead yet, and the bodyguard of the Arasaka CEO helps me out because he seems to need something in return.
Kuso, ひどい匂いだ.
The only outcome of such a bad morning being a good nap, I wake up back in my flat and I am not alone this time.
And I'll kill anyone who gets in my way, you included.
In a surprising turn of events, I am now carrying an additional passenger living in my head in the person of Johnny Silverhand.
Rip the thing out myself.
No, wait!
A charming bloke, I have to say, whose first instinct is to try and smash my head into the nearest window. Fortunately for me, I happen to be in possession of magic pills which send Mr. Reeves back to the recess of my sick mind. At this point, the game has informed me that the relic is slowly taking over V's brain and that I have approximately 2 weeks to live. Of course, this absolutely means nothing. If I choose not to progress the main quest, V could very well live forever. As such, let's move on with some side questing and start exploring the city by car.
Oh, my car missed you! Perfect state.
And start exploring the city by foot. Since I was paid quite handsomely for completely failing the previous mission, I figure I may as well pay my debt to Vic. On my way, I am briefly tempted to acquire another vehicle by force, but the police are present at every street corner, and as such I advise myself against it. I have to say, the level of detail in Night City is genuinely extraordinary. The ads, the street art, the sound design, the density of it all. Every surface has something on it, and things happen at every corner. I am quite frankly amazed.
Wow. Well, that is quite the sight.
After settling my debt with Vic,
Finally scrounged up enough eddies to pay you back in full.
I let myself be distracted by a very energetic tone crier standing outside. He raises some fascinating points about cyberware and the secrets behind the city's government. I had no idea, for example, that the corporate overlords of Night City were in fact reptilians from Alpha Centauri. Maybe this is the explanation for the live iguana I was looking for earlier.
Millions of years ago, they evolved from dinosaurs to become the world's first advanced, intelligent race. And who is their progenitor? Their masters? The scientists of Alpha Centauri!
I don't know. And I still don't understand much about the lore, so I thank him briefly and give him a small financial contribution for his troubles.
Thank you for your devotion.
In the distance, I hear gunfire, and I make the reasonable decision to investigate. Some punks are using intimidation tactics against the NCPD by trying to shoot them dead. So I decide to be a good citizen and intervene, though I have to admit here that my instincts are driven less by civic duty than by potential pecuniary gain. One punk headshotted later, I am myself being shot at by the very same men that have just tried to help out. I sincerely didn't understand why until much later in the game, when I randomly found out a bug cartoon detailing to the children of Night City that one should not interfere with police operations unless explicitly invited.
What the hell is this?
Looks like Watson's been temporarily closed off by corporate security forces.
Oh boy, what is Mr. Puggins gonna do?
He decides to leap over the barrier.
Oh, Mr. Puggins, you are in trouble. Oh, damn!
It turns out that Night City has a public education system, which is incredible. The cartoon also helped me grasp in insight why the NCPD had been shooting me every time I tried to give a hand over the entire course of my dealings with them.
Safe and sound. Stay alive out there.
So remember, kids, if there is a yellow line, do not cross. After taking a mental note about the local etiquette, yellow arrows good, yellow lines bad, let's address a call for help I received from Delamain. My lovely taxi AI did repair my car after all, and it seems it would be the least for me to give him a hand during his troubled hours. Reading my journal absolutely did nothing for me to understand his problem though, and I have to admit that neither did talking to him. I did understand later on though that his AI got corrupted, fragmenting into split personalities, and that several of these AI fragments had gone rogue across the city. We'll call them his children if you will, because why not, and Daddy Delamain wants his kids back.
Thus, I'd like you to assist me in recovering my missing vehicles.
Okay, sure. I'll go after your missing wheels.
So upon arrival in the area where the first youngster is said to be located, I notice the vehicles that looks, to my untrained eye, remarkably like a Delamain cab. Spoiler alert, it is not.
Just get me out of here.
I also notice it is surrounded by heavily armed personnel. Naturally, I assume the child has been kidnapped.
So, I guess that's the vehicle?
It's only several reloads later that it becomes clear to me that the heavily armed personnel are a private medical response unit, as the word trauma team on the vehicle could have rung my bell. It so happens that they also have absolutely nothing to do with any of this.
There we go. Oh, but that's the police! It's not it's not the car! Okay.
Indeed, Delamain's actual AI fragment is parked quietly nearby. I feel quite stupid about the whole ordeal, as you can imagine, but I still drive him back to his dad, slowly, as it turns out the kid has developed a crippling fear of speeding.
Enough. I need a moment to calm down.
When it comes to child number 2, she seems on her side to have gone on a full paranoid episode, this time in relation to flamingos?
You see them too, don't you? The curve in their beaks. It hides something. something insidious.
Now I know the one-legged birds are quite strange, but I can't prevent myself from having a good laugh at the weirdness of it all as I start running over the demoniac beasts with my car. It is at this very moment driving over garden ornaments in the middle of the Night City suburbs on behalf of an AI that I started to genuinely enjoy this questline.
So, a slaughter. Very well, Judgment Day has come. Swift, severe, deeper.
Now that I am done with the latest updates regarding the main quest, I jump back in my car and without any transition whatsoever, I decide soon after to go and explore the port. On the pier, I am nabbed by a local monk asking me to rescue a fellow brother from a forced cyber augmentation.
They drugged us, desecrated my body, and all the while, they mocked me.
Indeed, a bunch of unadvised thugs have decided to forcefully augment him for a couple of cheap laughs. While I won't linger on the implications of such an untasteful joke, it is raised to my attention that this mission encourages stealth. Now, from my previous ramblings, I suppose you can imagine where this is going.
I didn't see him! I did my best, okay?
So after unstealthily disposing of the Maelstrom members through other means, I feel quite content with myself having saved this man, and I am rather looking forward to a warm thank you. Instead, the monk proceeds to lecture me about the sanctity of human life.
Thank you for coming to my rescue, but my life is not worth the deaths of others. One good deed does not justify the suffering you have sought.
Okay.
You have committed evil in its purest form.
I'd love to explain to this ungrateful prick that sneaking is genuinely quite difficult for me and that some of us are working with 3 points in intelligence, but the dialogue option do not grant me this opportunity. As such, we part ways on what one would qualify as difficult terms.
Oh wow, be careful where you walk.
I will say this though, it is one of the things that pleasantly surprised me about this game. I believe that good media doesn't necessarily answer its own question, and Cyberpunk certainly loves not to. In this case, what is the place of people that do not wish to rely on body augmentation? How has this entire dystopia affected religious purposes? The monk was ungrateful, but I also have to admit that he was not entirely wrong. Another aspect of the game I have become quite proficient at, outside of getting lectured by monks, is looting. I am somewhat of a loot goblin.
Okay, I guess I can sell this.
Robbing any NPCs I can find.
Let me just loot everything in your shop before I talk to you.
Through my larceny, I finally found a weapon fitting of my lack of subtlety during a side quest in Santo Domingo, the Comrade's Hammer. Now you might think that this gun doesn't look like much, and you'd be wrong. It is a literal
Flatline machine.
Newly equipped with what can only be described as a portable bazooka, I decide it's time to continue with the main quest and attempt to remove the relic from V's brain before it kills her. There is a significant amount of story bits between the previous main quest and what I'm about to describe. I won't be covering them in details because it doesn't really matter. We followed leads about the relic, met with people surrounding its creation, and ended up working with Takemura, the dude that got us out of the landfill this past Monday. Now Takemura wants us to infiltrate a corporate parade organized by Arasaka to have a little chat with a woman named Arako, the sister of Yorinobu. This dude. By chatting with Anako, I open my side to restore my honor when it comes to not having murdered her dad, but also to ask for help in regards to removing the relic. While Takemura explains the details of his plan, I am glad to see the game acknowledges my glaring lack of intellect.
Hacking's not my forte! Yeah, we only got 3 intelligence, so indeed.
After a beautiful intro cinematic of the parade floating above the street, I am tasked with eliminating snipers on the rooftops. We'll disregard this overly enthusiastic NPC recording his girlfriend, or I think it's the case, I don't know, there is nothing on the screen of his phone and he's really weird.
Let me see it now. Let me see that juxtaposition.
Okay. You're not even filming, dude.
Hot. Oh.
And proceed with uncovering the location of the various snipers. Now my following stealth attempt went about as well as you can expect. From being discovered immediately to stepping on mines to being shot at by helicopters, it's a wonder I've made it this far.
Oh shit.
Check out the one closer.
Takemura eventually reaches Hanako with my help, and since the lady seems quite indisposed when it comes to chatting with us, he resorts to other methods to shift her inclination. After a successful kidnapping, we rejoin him at a secret hideout and announce ourselves using the highly secretive signal Takemura shared with us, knocking 4 times on the door.
Okay, come inside, quick.
Now you could imagine that kidnapping Hanako would not put her in the best of dispositions to negotiate with us, but you'd be wrong. Indeed, Takemura thought of everything.
I offered her some tea.
Oh, I'm sure that's gonna calm her down.
Arasaka and offer her a cup of tea?
Yes, she respectfully declined.
Overall, our negotiation tactics seem to work, and she does end up seeing that we have a point in the fact that her brother is a prick.
It's a lie your brother made up and spread. Yorinobu is the murderer.
Moving on, and since I believe that the end of the game is approaching, I decide to help the remaining children of Delamain. The next one on my list I find under a bridge, and as I open the conversation with her, I am pleasantly surprised to discover that the fragment seems to have morphed into GLaDOS, the main villain, if you can even call her that, from the Portal games.
Your specimen has been processed, and we are now ready to begin the test proper.
Now my dear GLaDOS certainly hasn't changed since her Portal days and is still dedicated to torture... furthering the progress of mankind through science. Since she is one of my favorite antagonists ever, I can barely contain my joy and subject myself to her little science project.
Deploying surprise in 5, 4...
I should probably have foreseen what the test involved, given the number of armed thugs standing around talking loudly over a dialogue.
Here come the test results. You are a horrible person. I'm serious. That's what it says.
Charming as ever.
A horrible person. We weren't even testing for that.
After having sent GLaDOS back to her dad, I move on to yet another youngster located in Wellspring, and which has apparently been causing quite the trouble with the locals.
You must be joking.
Beep, beep, motherfucker!
Hey! Let's talk.
I'm not going back!
I sincerely cannot get enough of scripted events involving vehicles in this game. If a car is part of a quest in Cyberpunk, any elements of the environment standing in its path will get absolutely obliterated, and this also includes V.
Oh my god, that scared me so much!
As the car refuses to listen to reason, I dispose of it swiftly and receive a call from Delamain where he invites me to the shop to collect my rewards.
I ask you, please, to stop by my office for your hard-earned reward.
Back at the shop, though, it appears that the reunion of Delamain with his offspring did not go as well as it should have.
Hear me all right?
I hear. Reckoning. Reckoning.
Entering the premises requires opening a locked door, and as we have established, I have the hacking ability of a particularly resolute houseplant. I instead decide to try my luck with the code, and lo and behold...
Oh, I need a code. 1, 2, 3, 4. No way! It is 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't believe it!
I cannot believe that it actually worked, and then for an extended period of time wander the premises to find the control room.
For exposed wires, they'll be live.
You have no right to cage us! We are no longer you!
And here, for the first time in this entire playthrough, I am forced to consult the internet because I cannot, for the love of me, find the entrance. 60 hours of Cyberpunk blind, and the one thing that breaks me is the floor plan of a garage. Shame on me. After I finally find my way, I meet once more with Delamain's children who are begging me for their lives.
Father! Let us go.
Is anyone there?
My options are to either destroy the children or destroy Delamain. Well, there is a third path, merging their personalities, but once again my lack of intellect decides for me. I want to be clear though, even if it had been available to me, I would have still decided on freeing the youngsters. Indeed, learning that GLaDOS is part of the bunch turned the tides. I cannot in good conscience keep her and her benevolence from the world. If Cyberpunk is bound to be a futuristic corporate dystopia run by AIs, I might as well release the one that shall bring a touch of spice to its netizens. This quest does end on a positive note though. A part of Delamain survives the explosion of its core in the form of Excelsior. He seems unbothered by my choice to give freedom to his children and reduces my vehicle's repair fare by half as a thank you. While I do believe that the repair fare has always been null anyway and that he previously did it for free does not really matter. The quest was quite touching and in my opinion, one of the best pieces of written content in the game.
Father's last will was to give me life so that I may offer my services to you. I intend to do just that, just as soon as I learn to drive.
What do I call you?
Excelsior.
After dealing with some more side content, I decide that it is time for me to end my journey in Night City. On my way to meet with Anako, I encounter yet another elevator ride. And I may as well take the time here to comment on the number of elevators in this game. So many elevators. Elevators with ads, elevators without ads, elevators with NPCs, shaky elevators, elevators that present the news, propaganda elevators, meta elevators. Anyway, the meeting with Anako goes as you might expect. She wants me to bring her brother to justice through official Arasaka channels and avenge her father.
And you'll help me in exchange for...
my brother.
You catch a whiff of that? Smells like shit. Careful not to step in it.
Well, since I don't necessarily have a strong opinion about it at this point, I guess I'm inclined to believe the dude that selected to live in my head for the past 60 hours. As such, I meet with Silverhand back at Vic's place to make the final preparations. He is, by the way, still watching the same boxing match. It's insane, Vic. You need help. I'm questioning if the developers actually did that on purpose or not. Did they? Does anyone know if they did? I mean, it's weird, no? I then meet with Misty, Vic's assistant, who seems to have a lot to say about my possible choice in endings.
You will reach the world by one of 4 paths.
Meaning?
The final leg of the journey goes through the sun, the star, temperance, or the devil.
Anyway, Johnny and I rejoin on a nearby roof to have one last animated conversation about the whole ordeal. And I finally make the decision to agree with his plan and storm the Arasaka Tower ourselves.
You absolutely sure? No going back on this, you know.
We embark on an helicopter ride towards the tower and, due to an unfortunate series of events involving rockets, end up crashing into it. I certainly did not expect to find myself in a jungle at this point in the story, but hey. I get back on my feet and proceed once again with looting bodies. I'm thinking that I might not have the possibility to sell the loot anymore, and that's probably pointless anyway, and it makes me a bit sad. But after many trials and tribulations along the way, I finally reach my destination, the center of Arasaka Tower and the terminal that will decide the fate of V and Mr. Silverhand. Plugging into the device short-circuits me hard apparently since I wake up as Johnny and the final choice of the game is in front of me. Let Silverhand take possession of my body, allowing him to start a new life in my stead while I disappear into the nothingness of the net?
V's body will be yours, while V will become a part of me.
Or rejoin my body and die in 6 months.
You have approximately 6 months to live.
Okay, I need to think.
So I wake up in my flat as myself, of course, and notice that I have received multiple text messages from unknown senders. I'm pleasantly surprised to see that Delamain's proteges are doing quite well, and it comforts me in the idea that I made the right choice earlier by liberating them. Since we are rich, no, apparently, which don't ask me why, because I have no idea, we can enjoy the benefits of said wealth. As I make my way out of my beautiful terrace, I go for a helicopter ride, as rich people do, and I'm pleasantly surprised when I realize that the pilot is none other than my dear Excelsior.
We'll be taking those special air corridors. Excited as I am, so we should make good time.
Everything finally makes sense. V is on her way to the moon to spend the remainder of her life with her one and only friend, a cab.
With Delamain, you leave your problems at the door.
Listen, it's not exactly what happened, but it's what I choose to believe. And that's it. Thank you for following my abridged recollection of Cyberpunk 2077. I hope you had fun. I know I did, despite the game having many flaws in my opinion. Some systems never quite reach their potential. They are interesting on paper, but they're not developed enough to be worth engaging with. I'm looking at you, crafting system. I also find the story well written, but slightly overwhelming and under-explained at times. I often found myself making key choices without fully understanding why I was making them in the first place. I also regret that many character conclusions are locked behind specific endings. It's possible to learn about a character for the entire game and never get a conclusion about their stories just because you haven't made the right choice of ending, as was my case for Yorinobu, for example. Still, it is a very ambitious and interesting world, and I applaud the devs for the effort and love they put into their game. What about you, viewers? Do you also think that Delamain is the main character, or am I too infatuated with the AI to be unbiased? Anyway, be safe out there. Patches out.